Podcast. On today's episode, we are very, very happy to have the Quarters team. It's a pretty cool team, and I'm very honored to have them. I'm gonna start with the advisor, Devo Harris. Devo is the founder and CEO at Venture. He won 3 Grammys for his work with Kanye West, John Legend, and has collaborated with Kanye West, John Legend, Aretha Franklin, and Barack Obama. He's earned degrees from Wharton and Columbia Business School. And we also have the founder and CTO of the platform, Michael Weiksner. Michael is a VC at Rostrum Capital and the founder of Either People, Tip or Skip, and Endless TV. He has a degree in CS from Princeton University and a PhD from Stanford University. Last but not least, we have the CEO of the platform, the person that is the visionary and the person that came up with this. We have George Weiksner. In relation to Michael Weiksner, his son, it's a father and son team. George is a 6th grader at the Greenwich Country Day School in Connecticut. He's a regular speaker about cryptocurrencies and games. He has appeared in Marketwatch, ICO Investor TV, Be Inspired, and the New York Post. Guys, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for spending time with us. It's pretty rare where I have a team that includes somebody that's worked with Barack Obama, Kanye West, then a pretty cool father and son team that's kind of attacking this blockchain space, but with a real use case. So tell us about Quarters. Tell us about how this team is put together and how you came up with the idea. I guess we'll start with George, the CEO.
Okay, hi. So I'm the CEO and visionary and outreach to gamers. I'll just start with the team. Devo is an advisor, and I think he's had a pretty good introduction. My dad is the CTO. He deals with the technology and that sort of thing and the legal stuff. We have Michelle Fan, who is big hit on YouTube. She had 9 million subscribers, and now she's focusing more on investing. And we have Chris Cross, who is a really big game designer, billions of dollars in revenue. Some of the games that he helped to create generated. And Quarters is a cryptocurrency for games that focuses on making it so you can use 1 coin in all your games, so that when you quit a game, you don't have your coins wasted in the games that you don't play anymore.
Okay.
And the thing that we're doing differently than other platforms is we're separating our utility in our investing token, so that the price of our utility token, you're not investing it, because then the utility is less valuable because you're using it for not only that, but you're also using it to invest, which makes it so people don't use it, which makes it less valuable if people don't use it.
Right. So I guess what you're pointing out is the fact that a lot of cryptos started with utility, but because people have been trading and speculating, the prices have moved back up and down. So therefore, people don't want to use it.
Yeah, because they're too focused on investing than using.
Awesome. And I guess what game were you playing that made you frustrated? Was it? I know everybody's playing Fortnite now. Is it Madden? Is it FIFA? What was the game that made you come up with this idea?
It was actually Madden, as you said.
Okay.
I've played a lot of Madden, Xbox. I've had like the Wii Madden 14,
Okay.
Madden Mobile, Madden 16, 17, 18 on Xbox.
Okay.
And just throughout the Madden.
What's your team? You a Pats fan? You play with Brady?
I like the Giants in the 90s.
All right. Yes, Eli. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was actually pretty good at Madden Mobile, and then when I just decided I didn't want to play anymore, I had so much value and time and effort left in the game, and I was frustrated. So later I came up with the idea. My dad was explaining cryptocurrency to me in the car after school, and then the idea became a hobby, and then you got a bigger team, and it became like a real cool big thing.
That's pretty cool. And so I guess, what's it like being a 12-year-old CEO? I assume you went to school today, and now you're on a podcast and you're talking about your company and raising capital. What's it like?
It's more sometimes stressful than it is actually hard, because I actually am really homework efficient. Even though I'm in 7th grade, the most homework I come back with is half an hour into an hour, which is good.
It sounds like they need to push you to 8th grade, man.
I'm in 8th grade math in my school, so. But I have an hour of sports I do at school, and I do some other outdoor activities. But the thing about Quarters is school is where most of the work is done for me, because my friends are the consumers and are going to be the future users, because they all play games. I think that kids play games more than adults do. And so when I'm talking to my friends, they help me get my ideas, and they're really good to like help me, because they're the people who are playing the game who would be using it.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. Devo, I mean, how did you get involved in this project? How were you recruited to the team, and what made you excited about it?
Well, earlier this year, Mike had told me about this project and kind of some ideas that they were kind of toying around with. And for me, I haven't been super enthusiastic about the crypto space previous to this, and it just keeps like dawning on me, like as a currency, this can't be really valuable unless there's some widespread adoption of it. And all of the kind of applications that I've been hearing about are, if there is any product at all, it's pretty narrowly focused, and I just don't understand how that's supposed to convert into like real momentum for the currency or real usage. So when they were talking about this application in the gaming space, it's obviously so sizable, and it solves a real problem, that it just clicked to me. I'm like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. So that was already just appealing to me. And then, you know, what Mike and I talked about, and what I've talked about a lot of times, is like making a product is kind of one facet of growing something big. Another part of it is getting folks to care about it. And I've spent a lot of time kind of working on that sort of thing. It doesn't matter the industry when it comes to that. And so that's what we've kind of talked a lot about. And what I'm kind of around to do is to help both with George in terms of just as you're starting something from zero to hopefully everywhere, kind of how to prepare for that, but also just in terms of getting folks to know about it and care about it. I think that's, when it comes to tech, often something that people miss out on. And so yeah, the anything that has to do with kind of tech that I believe in and kind of cultural acceptance, I get excited about that. So then we just put it all together.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Are there any games that are already accepting this that you have lined up, or are you still kind of in the recruitment phase?
So we have kind of not acquired, but made a deal with a game called Savage Lands, which had a slight issue, and they went down here and they're planning to relaunch with Quarters, making their game better. We're also going to do some esports, not like together with Fortnite, but on the Fortnite game, without actually using any of the API in the game. But there are some ways that players can play on the same team, but competitively against each other. For instance, you could queue up in duos. Two people who don't know each other could purposely play together, and then whoever got more kills in the game could win the pot or whatever. Stuff like that. And then we are still trying to get games, obviously, but we're kind of using these first games as a kind of like a test.
Yeah, of course. MVP. That's awesome. And I guess what's the what infrastructure are you using? I don't know if this is a question for Michael, but I don't know if you're using Ethereum as your backend.
Yeah, ERC20.
Are you using ERC20? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. For both the utility part and the investment part?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Now, how do you split responsibility between yourself and your dad?
Sure.
The co-founder.
Yeah. So my dad does more of the legal stuff and kind of code stuff, I guess I could say. And I do more of the like gaming related and like how someone who plays games kind of thinks and what they want. And I know, like, for instance, like I have some friends who play Fortnite who I don't know in person, and or I do know in person, but they're more competitive, and I can talk to them. And then I have my casual friends, kind of figure out what's the best for everyone.
Sure.
And so I'm kind of more involved, but my dad has more experience with, like, I don't know, legal and other stuff because he's been alive for like 30 years longer than me. So he has me there.
Awesome. Good stuff. And I guess, how did you choose, you're doing you're fundraising on, what platform is it?
Republic.
Okay. How did you choose that versus maybe doing like a regular ICO or what have you? How's your team choose to be on Republic?
Sure. So we started first by doing a pre-sale, and then we went to Republic after that. And we liked Republic because my dad knew about the Drapers, and he thought it was cool about the show, and thought it was a good thing because we could get publicity while getting good investors who like the Drapers, and at the same time. So, and I mean, there's not many crowdfunding campaigns that you can use. So we only tried to get in Republic, but once we got into one, we were like solid with it, stayed with it.
Excellent. And now, is it still open for investment? Can people still invest in the Republic?
Yeah,
Are there anybody, or do you have to be like accredited or what have you?
No. Well, anyone can invest over the age of 18.
Okay.
And the minimum we can check with my dad, I think, is $25, something like that. Dad, you want to hop in? Good, $25. That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And there's perks, and there's special perks depending on how much you invest.
Sure. Can you break them down?
Yeah. Well, I'll visit the website just to make. I know some of them are free quarters. Some of them are playing with me. Here, let me look. Public.co/quarters. That's if you want to invest, that's where you can go. Public.co/quarters.
Okay.
So $25 minimum investment. So the perks here, $30 you get 7,500 free quarters. $50 you get 200,000 free quarters. $100 you get early access to one game. So we're not going to launch immediately, but we're going to have the games ready. So if you invest $100, you can get early access to one game, and also get 50,000 quarters. $500 you get early access to one game, and you can have 5 other friends join you, so you don't have to play by yourself. And then you get 240,000 free quarters over 12 months. And then here, I'll just go over the general, not the exact. There's some stream stuff because I do some streaming.
Okay.
And the biggest one, $100,000, is you get to meet me in person in New York.
Okay.
And then $25,000, you can do a mobile game with Chris Cross. He's one of the very, very, very big game designers. So that's a pretty cool one.
Got it. For people like Devo and myself, Chris Cross means something different. You think of an old musical group in the early 90s. I'm sure your dad knows as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, good stuff. So I guess if you were to break down, I mean, obviously you're not the only gaming crypto platform or project. How would you say you're most different versus
Sure. So the gaming utility token is a big thing. I mean, utility investing token, sorry. That's the main thing. Then the other thing is there's 2 other things. There's 3 main things. So the fact that we split our token.
Okay.
We are focused on players. So the players buy the token. Instead of the other games, the developers buy them and try to convince the players that they want them. And that gets really scammy and bad games. Okay. And then the third thing is that it's universal, so it's not for one game, it's for multiple games. Okay. You can use them in all your games. So those are the 3 main things.
Excellent. And now, what makes, if I make a game, why would I want to use your token versus having my own? Are you going to give me a cut of the revenue, or how does that work?
So we have it so it's the best for everyone. So if you're a larger investor, you can earn up over 100% of the total profits that you sell them for, because we're minimizing for the smaller developers. But the smaller developers get the advantage of the fact that their token, so it's hard to get someone to spend money in your game. It's because they're like, okay, I spend $10, but I only spend one of the dollars in the game, and I have all these leftover tokens. But I can buy quarters, and then I can just test out, maybe out of the 4,000 quarters that I got, I can only test 10 quarters to see if I like the game. And
Right.
then I'm spending quarters, and you have a lot of people testing out your game, but they're not like, they're less skeptical.
Got it. So it's more useful since you can use it outside the game. So it will attract people to spend in my game. Totally makes a lot of sense. Awesome. Well, I think this sounds like a really, really cool project. I really appreciate you spending time with us. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Devo. Before I let you go, where can we find out more about the project? Where can we keep up with it?
Sure. So I'll give you 3 links. So republic.co/quarters is for investing.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Pocketfulofquarters.com is another good one.
Okay.
It might link to the Republic, which I know, but pocketfulofquarters.com is a good one.
Okay.
And then if you want to play in our scrims game, which isn't fully operational yet, but we're almost there. Maybe like 2 weeks we'll be done with that.
Okay.
It's scrim2win.com, which is for Fortnite scrim. So those are the links.
Awesome. Well, we'll link to those in the notes as well.
Can I interject something really quick, Fritz?
Yeah, sure.
One thing, and this just reminded me of this when you're asking George about like what's different about quarters. I think part of what's exciting to me about this project, and I will say this so anyone listening to this podcast can also think about it and kind of do what they will with it. But George was mentioning that this is like designed for players. I think that's really important to keep in mind here. And George is a player, and beyond being a player, he's the iconic player, if you will, to me. Right. So when I tell people about quarters, and they're like, "Oh, but this guy George is how old?" I'm like, "George is the perfect age. Yeah. George can make a better product for this than I ever could."
Right.
So I really think that whoever's listening to this should really check out republic.co /quarters and take a look at what we're doing and what George is doing. He's one of the best product people for this particular product like you're going to find, and it's because of that alone. I think it's really exciting, and it's not made from the outside looking in. It's made from a mainstream player's point of view, and I think that's something that we should really think about and get behind.
No, excellent. You always like businesses that are driven by people solving their own problems, right? Versus trying to solve problems that are not native to themselves. So, kudos to you, George, for coming up with this idea and looking to solve something that you have. And yeah, for me, I'm not the hugest gamer, but yes, when my mobile games, I don't like when all my coins are stuck in Candy Crush or in
the progress, right? That's not fun.
Exactly. That's awesome. Well, good stuff. Because I think one interesting thing is once you go live, there's going to be like this kind of like arbitrage, right? Because like money in one game versus money in another game may not be worth the same. So people may try to trade back and forth.
So one thing on that, which I'll say, is that the developers are using the same quarters. So however they get it, I mean, they could buy it from us if they wanted to, but the main way they're going to get from players buying stuff from their games. So they can value however they want, but they're selling it for the same price. So if they want to give away 10,000 quarters, I mean, they're going to have to find a way to pay for that. Or for instance, they're losing from how much they're making.
Got it. Okay. So they have to still match up with the general market. They can't.
Or they can do whatever they want. I mean, it's their money.
Good point. Okay, that's interesting. I look forward to seeing how that transpires. But awesome. Well, thank you all. I know how busy you all are, and I definitely appreciate you spending time with the Coin Gamma audience today. And we look forward to hearing more and more about your project. And best of luck.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
You.